every gun used by the UK during World War II. First up, the pistols and revolvers. Webley Mark IV, the quintessential British service revolver. While technically replaced by the Enfield, shortages meant the Webley served until the bitter end. It was a top-break revolver, meaning the barrel hinged down to eject all spent casings at once, allowing for much faster reloading than American sidearms. Rugged and powerful, it fired the heavy .38-200 cartridge, designed to tumble upon impact for maximum stopping power. Enfield No. II Mark I Star, the standard-issue sidearm of the British forces. Based heavily on the Webley design, it was lighter and slightly more manageable. The Star variant, developed for tank crews, had its hammer spur removed and was converted to double action only. This prevented the hammer from snagging on tank interiors or parachute riggings, though it made accurate shooting beyond close range incredibly difficult. Browning High Power, a weapon favored by the elite. While the rank and file carried revolvers, the paratroopers and commandos utilized this semi-automatic masterpiece. Holding 13 rounds of 9mm ammunition, it offered double the capacity of a standard revolver. Ironically, the Germans also used this weapon after capturing the factory in Belgium, making it one of the few guns used extensively by both sides. Welrod, the assassin's tool. Designed for the Special Operations Executive, SOE, and the Resistance, this was a bolt-action pistol with an integral suppressor. It was practically silent, producing a sound no louder than a finger snap. It looked more like a bicycle pump than a gun, making it easy to conceal. It was the ultimate weapon for taking out sentries and guard dogs in occupied Europe.
Moving on to the submachine guns. Lanchester, a copy of the German MP-28 built for the Royal Navy. When the war began, Britain had almost no submachine guns. The Lanchester was a beautifully machined, solid brass and steel weapon. It was heavy and expensive, making it perfect for guarding ships and dockyards, but too heavy for infantry marching across Europe. It utilized a 50-round magazine and was known for its incredible durability. Thompson M1928A1, the weapon of choice for the commandos and early war section leaders. Purchased from the U.S. before Lend-Lease fully kicked in, the Tommy gun was heavy and expensive, but its rate of fire and stopping power were beloved. Churchill famously posed with one, cementing its image in British propaganda. As the war progressed, it was largely replaced by the cheaper Sten, but veteran units held on to them whenever possible. Sten Gun Mark II, the plumber's nightmare. Born out of desperation after the retreat from Dunkirk, the Sten could be made for about $10 in a bicycle repair shop. It was crude, ugly, and made entirely of stamped metal with a side magazine. Despite its cheap appearance and tendency to accidental discharge if dropped, it was lethal at close range and allowed Britain to arm resistance movements across Europe by the millions. Sten Gun Mark V, the gentleman's Sten. Introduced late in the war for airborne troops who despised the crude ergonomics of the Mark II. It featured a wooden stock, a pistol grip, and the foresight from a Lee-Enfield rifle. It was essentially a cosmetic upgrade to make the weapon feel more like a traditional firearm, improving soldier morale and accuracy during the liberation of Europe.
Next, the rifles. Lee-Enfield No. I Mark III Star, the veteran of the trenches. This was the standard rifle of the British Army at the outbreak of war and during the retreat from Dunkirk. Famous for its incredibly smooth bolt action, a trained soldier could perform the Mad Minute, firing 20 to 30 aimed rounds in 60 seconds. It remained in service in North Africa and the Pacific long after it was replaced in Europe. Lee-Enfield No. IV Mark I, the definitive British rifle of WW2. It was simplified for mass production, featuring a heavier barrel and better sights than its predecessor. It replaced the complex sliding leaf sights with a simple peep sight, which was faster to aim in combat. It was rugged, reliable, and held 10 rounds, double the capacity of the German Kar-98K, giving British infantry a significant volume of fire advantage. Lee-Enfield No. V Jungle Carbine, a shortened, lightened version of the No. 4 designed for the brutal conditions of the Pacific Theater.
While handy in the dense jungles of Burma, the reduced weight resulted in tremendous recoil, and it had a wandering zero problem where the sights would lose alignment. Despite these flaws, its compact size made it popular with troops fighting in vegetation where long rifles were a liability. Pattern 1914. The British sniper's choice. While the Lee-Enfield was a great battle rifle, the P-14, a Mauser-style action, was more stable and accurate for long-range work. Scoped versions were used throughout the war. Non-scoped versions were issued to the Home Guard, famously seen in the hands of the Dad's Army volunteers defending the British coast. Lisle carbine. One of the strangest and most effective Special Forces weapons ever made. It combined a Lee-Enfield bolt, a Thompson submachine gun barrel, and a modified M1911 magazine firing .45 ACP rounds. The result was a bolt-action carbine with a massive integral suppressor. It was so quiet that the working of the bolt was louder than the shot, allowing commandos to clear enemy positions silently, one by one.
Now, let's look at the machine guns. Lewis gun. Another holdover from World War I, this pan-fed light machine gun was iconic for its barrel cooling shroud. While replaced by the Bren in frontline service, it saw extensive use with the Home Guard, the Navy, and famously with the SAS in North Africa, who stripped off the cooling jackets and mounted twin guns on their jeeps to raid German airfields. Bren Gun. Arguably the best light machine gun of the war. Based on a Czech design, it was accurate, reliable, and fed from a top-mounted 30-round magazine. It was the heart of the British infantry section. Its slow, chugging rate of fire made it easy to control, and, unlike the German MG42, it could be fired accurately from the shoulder while walking. Bren stands for Brno, the Czech city of design, and Enfield, the British city of manufacture. Vickers K. Originally designed as an aircraft observer's gun, the SAS scavenged these rapid-fire weapons for their desert raids. They fired significantly faster than the Bren or Lewis, putting out a wall of lead. Fed from large pan magazines, they were mounted in pairs or even quads on Land Rovers and Jeeps to shred parked German aircraft in hit-and-run attacks. Vickers medium machine gun. The grand old lady of the British Army. A water-cooled heavy machine gun that had served since 1912. It was heavy, static, and required a crew to carry the water and ammo, but it was invincible. It could fire continuously for hours or even days, as long as the water was topped up. It was often used for indirect fire, launching bullets over hills like artillery to suppress enemy movements. Finally, the anti-tank weapons. Boy's anti-tank rifle. A massive bolt-action rifle firing a .55 caliber round. Early in the war, it could penetrate the thin armor of German Panzer I and II tanks. However, as tank armor improved, it became obsolete against vehicles. It remained in use for destroying light trucks and bunkers. The recoil was notoriously brutal, often bruising the shoulder of the unfortunate soldier firing it. From the desperate improvisation of the Home Guard to the silent lethality of the commandos, the British arsenal was a unique mix of old-world craftsmanship and industrial necessity. Whether it was the rapid-fire rattle of the cheap Sten gun or the steady rhythm of the reliable Bren, these were the weapons that carried the British forces from the beaches of Dunkirk to victory in Europe.